Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Didi Lesson, and I appreciate you being here. Today, I'm going to share with you my journey with insomnia. My whole life, I've been sleeping very, very well up till 20 years ago. I was one of the best sleepers you can imagine. When I was a child and Christmas Eve was close, sometimes I just couldn't wait anymore. So I just go to bed at 4 in the afternoon and sleep the whole night through till the next morning. I mean, I could sleep whenever I wanted. But then I felt very ill from stress. And one of the consequences was that I developed insomnia. And in the beginning, it was so hard. I mean, it was brutal. And if you're here, you probably struggle with insomnia, so you know what I'm talking about. If you're here because you know someone, maybe this can be helpful. But I mean, I think we all have like a sleep account, bank account that we can go for some time or a longer period without sleep. But at some point, you have emptied the bank and then it hits hard. I mean, every day was like a mountain I was trying to climb and I didn't have the energy for it. I was so tired, but I was not sleepy. I spent so much time in bed, but I couldn't sleep. And me, I always been the kind of person like I did not want to take medication because I always trusted my body to heal itself. And up till then it did, but I just couldn't find out what to do. I didn't know how to manage it. And after 7 years, I was so exhausted. I was at the end of my rope. I was willing to do almost anything just to get a good night's sleep. And I started taking medication, and it worked perfectly for me. I was sleeping. I was getting back my energy. I was getting back my joy. I was starting doing normal things again, just enjoying myself. And slowly, I gained weight, a lot of weight. But I really didn't care because I just wanted to be happy. I mean, no, most people who suffer insomnia know that the last thing you are in this world is happy. You are just extremely exhausted. Everything is powered by your will. Is the will force from you wake up till you go to bed, and there's not much joy in anything. So I didn't care. I didn't mind being overweight as long as I could sleep. But after some years, my feet started to troubling me, my Achilles. And so I had to quit because I love being active and I was not going to risk my health, my mobility. So I had to stop. And so I was back to square one, but like having learned a little bit more about insomnia, maybe getting older and getting more relaxed, I was a little better off when I got off the medication than when I started. So, but it's 20 years ago. And so if I can inspire someone or help someone, like the things I would have wished I could have told my younger self when it happened, I want to share with you. And insomnia is very personal. So what works for me might not work for you or your loved ones. But like, if you're out there where I was and a lot of people get, it's like everything is worth trying just to see how it works. And for instance, like there's this philosophy: if you go to bed the same time and get up the same time, your body will adapt to this rhythm. And it works for a lot of people, but for me, it doesn't work at all. It just triggers my insomnia like crazy. What works for me is like I don't even think about sleeping before I feel sleepy. I don't care how tired I am. If I don't feel sleepy, I just even think about going to sleep. What works best for me is going to sleep when I'm sleepy and sleep till I wake up. And I think part of why it works for me is because I'm a B person. Most of my life I have lived as an A person, but luckily in my profession you can have evening work, and that's what I'm doing now. So I am able to wait to go to sleep till I'm sleepy and sleep till I wake up, and that is the best for me. But for someone else, is the opposite. It's like having a regular time you go to bed and regular time you get up. So try it out. And there are other techniques too, like you reduce your sleep to 5 or 6 hours for some time, and then your natural sleepiness will kick in and you will start to sleep normal again. That has also worked for a lot of people. That would never work for me. The less I sleep, the worse my sleep gets, until I get so tired, I'm totally bombed out, and boom, then I'll start sleeping again. But so this is just an example of how different sleep patterns can be, and it has definitely also helped me to start living according to my natural clock. I'm a bee person, you know. I fall asleep most nights about 2 o'clock, but it varies. Sometimes it's 12, not very often, but like if I haven't been sleeping for a long time, then I can be sleepy at 12. But sometimes it's 4 o'clock in the morning before I'm sleepy, and I don't go to bed before, because if I do so, I will not fall asleep at all. I will just lay and toss and turn and get more and more annoyed and afraid that I cannot fall asleep. So I don't do that. And I feel peace. I spent so many years in my bed trying to sleep, and I hated that. I hated those nights, sweating and turning and tossing, and like, oh my God, I have to get up in 4 hours. I have to get up in 3 hours. I have to get up in 2 hours. Like, I don't have that anymore. I just enjoy my time. If I'm not sleepy and I'm tired, I just watch television, work on my music, whatever I feel like, watch YouTube or something. So, well, the first thing I wish I would have told my younger self, if I knew what I know now, is to make an insomnia diary. Write down headlines like what happened today, of like major things. Did I go for a walk? Did I fight with anyone? Did I do meditation? Did something make me nervous? Just headlines, so you get a grip, a feeling of what happened during that day. And then you write down how many hours you've been sleeping, and then you can make how do you call it, a pictogram of how your sleep is going up and down, and then you can start to detect what triggers your insomnia and what betters your insomnia. I wish I had known to do that a long, long time ago. Because it's different what triggers insomnia. Mine is stress related. After I got ill with stress, I have a heightened stress sensitivity. And everything that stresses me will affect my sleep. And I'm not saying to avoid all kind of stress, because we can't do that, but we can moderate it. And of course, unnecessary stress, there's no need to engage in unnecessary stress. But the first thing I found out was stimulants stress me. Cigarettes, alcohol, coffee, tea. I don't do drugs, but if I did, it would probably have stressed me too. Sugar-free. It took me a long time to find out sugar-free stresses me too. So I have cut that out of my life, and I don't miss it anymore. I don't miss it anymore. Me, I hardly drink alcohol. It's like maybe New Year's evening, maybe once, twice a year. It's very, very little. And another thing that is very important, if your insomnia is stress related, you need to avoid bad relationships. And what I mean is stress-inducing relationship full of drama, relationship that cause anxiety, relationship that cause you to be depressed and sad. If you're with someone that doesn't treat you well, that will worsen your insomnia considerably. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with the other person, sometimes there's nothing wrong with you, but you're just not a good match. You just get on each other's nerves, not because you're bad people, but you just don't match. And if you want to sleep, you need to leave. I mean, when you get insomnia, you need to put yourself first. And it took me a long time to find out. I need to put myself first so I can recover. It's like in the airplane when they put down the oxygen mask. You have to give yourself oxygen first before you can help someone else. It's the same with insomnia. You have, in order for you to be something for other people, you have to sleep, because you're not worth anything to anybody if you don't sleep. So staying away from stress, chaotic, anxiety, depressing relationship, that will get you a long way. Like my new saying is, it's better to lose someone you love than to lose yourself, because the one person you're always going to be in a relationship with is you. That's not a question. We know that. So so this is what I found out, like in relationships, but we have a relationship with ourselves too. And I used to have a lot of temper. Oh my God. And I didn't think much of it back then because I grew up in a family with a lot of temper. So for me, it was just normal. But I realized very fast that this was one of the first triggers. I realized that anger, that would really fuel my insomnia. So I had to learn how to stay calm and how to deal with my annoyedness and my irritations, and not get angry. And how I learned to do it might be different for you. How I learned to do it was when I could feel the anger growing, I would just step away. I would just remove myself from the problem. If it was a person, especially my boyfriend, I would just move myself away from it, whatever it was, and calm down, calm down. Now, today, I know I can go up to a certain level. Like me, I'm very politically interested, and political debates can get heated, and I get heated sometimes. But I know there's like a lid. I can't get too heated because then it blows up in my head and I can't sleep. So that was the first trigger I learned how to control. And I must say that many years later, it dawned on me that there's really not a lot of things in this world that's worth getting angry or upset over. I mean, in normal everyday life, it's very, very small things. Like things I get upset over now is like cheating. That would get me angry. But like my boyfriend being late, yeah, if he like is flirting very obviously, like in a humiliating way, that get me upset too. But yeah, deceit, like being used like in a very bad way, that get me upset. But like someone being a little bit late, or someone getting something a little bit wrong, or things going a little bit, no, I don't sweat over small stuff anymore, and I'm very happy I don't. I mean, you just make your life so much difficult if you sweat and get annoyed over small stuff. Just leave it alone. It's not worth it. So what I have learned is like I need to try to stay in a certain balance. Like This is my area in which I can move. I can get like this annoyed or this oppressed or like this excited or this nervous, but it's not good for me to move outside this area. If I get like this angry or this nervous, like that'll affect my sleep right away. So what I then I'll share like the most important things that have worked for me. Meditation, it's like a superpower, has been for me for insomnia. And I remember when I started, the sweet spot in meditation is 20 minutes. And it's so hard. If you're not used to meditating and you don't like to sit down, it's difficult for you to just relax and be around yourself and do nothing. It is hard. But like a wise person someone said, the harder it is for you to meditate, the more you need it. So just start half a minute. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. And if it's too much, 15 seconds. What you do is just sit upright. For me, I can't lay down and meditate. I don't get the effect. And I don't know, but I have a theory. It's something with the what's called the bones inside your body, your back, that they have to be vertical. So you sit and you just first you feel your body. You start with your toes and your legs, and then you go to your arms and your body and then your head. And then you start breathing through your nose. And that's what you concentrate, just feeling the air go in and out. A lot of the time I suffer with very a lot of heart beating. But most of the times when I meditate, my heart falls rest. It rests. It stops beating. It just stops normal. Before I had stress, I could never feel my heart, except from if I was very physical or got really scared. But after I got ill from stress, I can very often feel it beating very hard. But when I meditate, most of the time, it falls down and I can't feel it anymore. If I wake up in the middle of the night, which I do a lot, and I can't fall asleep again, I am now in a place where most of the nights I wake up, I will fall asleep again without doing anything. But if I have a night I can't fall asleep again, then I'll sit up and I'll meditate for 20 minutes and it will do the trick almost every time. It is a wonder method for me. Another thing I have discovered recently, I was feeling very down. I struggled with my Achilles tendons when I was younger. I used to run a lot, but I got tired of the dogs running after me, so I bought a treadmill so I could run at home and without the dogs barking at my tail. But then I had problems with my Achilles, so I started walking on my treadmill. But then the energy crisis came, and I thought it doesn't make sense to walk on my treadmill and waste the electricity when I can just walk outside. It was just an own habit that I was using my treadmill, so I started walking outside. I was kind of depressed when I started walking outside. A lot of things have happened in my life recently that have been very hard to deal with. But I noticed very fast that I was starting to feel so much better. I was like, what's going on? I started walking outside. So I started researching, like, what do walks do for you? And then I found out that the sunlight, it helps regulate, amongst other things, our sleeping patterns, but a lot of processes in our brain are regulated by sunlight. And studies actually show that people who get sunlight regularly, people that work outside, they have less cancer, a lot of different kinds of cancer than other people. But it also affects your mood. And then I found out in the Western world or the Northern world, in the wintertime, we don't get enough sunlight because um, there's so little sunlight at our disposal that is strong enough. The only way to get enough sunlight is to walk for an hour about noon. That's where the sun is strongest. So I've been doing that, and I started sleeping so well. I mean, one night I slept 11 hours. I have not done that in 20 years. I was like, what? This is crazy. 11 hours. And of course, I felt amazing. I mean, so I do that almost really religiously now. At 12 o'clock, I go for a walk for at least an hour. But most days it's like 2 hours. Sometimes I leave 11:30 because if I walk for 2 hours, it's half an hour before noon till 1 and half an hour after. So I get as much of the strong sunlight as possible. But some days I'm a little late because, I'm a bee person and I sleep till I wake up. And there was one day I stayed at home because it was really raining. But the other days I've been walking, even if it's been raining. I just put on my rain clothes and I go walking. And doesn't matter if the clouds are out because it's still sunlight coming through. And it's actually, if you have kids, it's important for their eyes and for their growth to get sunlight. There's a lot of interesting things about sunlight, but that has really helped me too. And I just found out that recently. So that's a good thing to know. One thing that also has helped me a lot is Bose earplugs. Bose have made some earplugs that you put in your ears for music. I just wait a minute. I'll go and get them so you can see them. I just pause. So here they are from Bose. And you open it like this. And this is what they look like. And you put them in your ear like this. And this really blocks noise. I swear by them. I can't live without them. I used to be extremely noise sensitive. And these earplugs, you can play music through the Bose app. And I started with that and I got used to the music. But there are transmitters inside and I don't like that idea. I'm not sure if it's good lying night after night with active transmitters in your ears. So instead of using the music from the Bose app, I just put in the plugs and then I put my cell phone beside me and I play something from YouTube. And I also started playing different things from YouTube because I want to train myself to be able to tolerate more different noises and sounds. And I have become better at it, but also now I have been living for 1 year in building noise. They're building everywhere around me. And in the beginning, I felt like I was going crazy, but I'm getting more used to it. And I actually have become more noise tolerant now. And that's a good thing. So let me see here what I have. Yeah. Yeah. But that is actually my best advice for you to avoid stress. Oh yeah, and when you get sick from stress, and if you suffer with insomnia, just set your life at 0. Cancel everything. Do nothing. Nothing. I tell you, nothing except the most necessarily. It is very important to rest, to feel peace. It doesn't matter if you get a little bit bored. It doesn't matter. But having plans that can stress you a lot. You just have to tell people, I need to take one day at a time, and it'll stress me to have an appointment. But we can talk maybe tomorrow and see if I had any sleep last night or whatever. Just do the necessary things. I mean, anything that's not necessary, you gotta just let it be because you need to take care of yourself. I wish I would have known that. I thought when I got ill from stress that after 2 weeks I'll be back at my work and functioning very normal. No, no, no. It's 20 years later now, and I still have problems with insomnia. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be, but I'm still not out in the clear. I think the way things are going, I think that maybe someday I will get back to having normal sleep, but I don't think I can ever live again like a normal life. I think I will have to take care of myself, not stress myself, don't have too many appointments, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's just the way it is. And the funny thing is, I don't really have regrets. It's been a hard teacher. It's been a very, very hard teacher. But I think it has learned me to live a better life. I think I am more happy now with the insomnia than I would have been without. Because something really needed to stop me and set me on another course, and insomnia did. And I guess that's why I got insomnia too in the first place, because I was just running myself way too hard, putting myself through things I should not have put myself through, not respecting, like, having downtime and uh, just taking care of myself in a good way. And I learned that. I learned it the hard way, but I'm glad I have learned it. I'm very glad I have learned it. So, but this is from me. And if you have any other advices, please write in the comments. I know a lot of people will be very happy, very grateful to hear about if you've had some positive experiences, what helps your insomnia and what triggers it. But to all you people who are still struggling, I wish you all the best. I hope that at the end of your journey, you'll feel the same way. I just wouldn't have been without it. I just wouldn't. I mean, it's hard to deal with insomnia, but I think I have a better life now than I would have had without it. So, as we say in Denmark, nothing is as bad so it's not good for something. Nothing is so bad that it's not good for something. And I think insomnia, dealing with insomnia, has given me a better life, even though it's been hard. Night night.